Did you know that millions of jobs in the UK could disappear by 2025? That's right, automation, Brexit, and global competition are creating a perfect storm, putting entire industries at risk. From high street retail closures to AI replacing human workers in factories, the future of work looks uncertain. But what does this mean for the average worker? Will you be left behind? The job market is changing faster than we can imagine, and if we don't act now, millions will be unprepared for the massive upheaval ahead. So how can you protect yourself from this impending job crisis? Keep watching to discover the 10 shocking reasons why your job could be at risk in the near future. Number 10. Unpreparedness of businesses for future employment needs. As the job market in the UK continues to evolve, many businesses are struggling to prepare for the future employment needs of their workforce. The skills gap is widening, with companies increasingly facing challenges in finding workers with the right qualifications for emerging sectors like technology, green energy, and advanced manufacturing. The pace of technological change and automation means that businesses must adapt quickly to new tools and processes. But many are failing to invest in training programs or partnerships with educational institutions to bridge this gap. Without a skilled workforce, businesses will be unable to compete in an increasingly globalized and tech-driven economy. The lack of proactive investment in employee development is also creating a shortage of talent for industries that are vital for the UK's economic future. While companies are eager to implement new technologies, many are overlooking the human resources required to support these innovations. For instance, businesses in tech-heavy industries are facing major difficulties in hiring professionals with expertise in AI, data science, and cybersecurity. The UK's failure to invest in developing these skills is putting it at a competitive disadvantage globally. Furthermore, the lack of support for career development within companies is leading to employee dissatisfaction, higher turnover rates, and a less productive workforce. To remain competitive, UK businesses need to rethink their approach to workforce management. Companies must prioritize long-term workforce planning, ensuring that they are not only attracting top talent, but also developing their existing employees to meet the demands of future industry. Training programs, internships, and mentorship opportunities should be expanded to create a pipeline of skilled workers. Without these investments, the UK risks falling behind in the global economy, leaving businesses and workers unprepared for the challenges ahead. As industries evolve, it's crucial that businesses step up to ensure that their workforce is equipped to handle the technological shifts and skill demands of the future. Number 9. Government policies and inaction. The UK government's response to the looming job crisis has been widely criticised for its lack of urgency and insufficient policies to address the challenges facing workers. Despite the increasing threats of automation, global competition, and labour shortages, the government has been slow to implement meaningful reforms. Many workers are being left without adequate support, and there is growing concern that the government is not doing enough to prepare the workforce for the changes ahead. Skills training, retraining programs, and support for displaced workers are essential, but the current policies fail to provide these at the scale necessary to combat the looming job crisis. One area where government action is lacking is in the reskilling and upskilling of workers who are being displaced by technology. As industries such as manufacturing, retail, and transportation adopt automation and AI, millions of workers will need to transition into new fields. However, without comprehensive government-backed training programs, many will struggle to find new opportunities. Vocational training and apprenticeships are being underfunded, and the education system is still heavily focused on academic qualifications, leaving many workers unprepared for the realities of a tech-driven job market. The absence of a clear strategy for workforce development exacerbates the risk of mass unemployment and economic instability. Additionally, the UK government has failed to address the increasing inequalities in the job market. While gig economy and low-wage workers face mounting challenges, the government has not introduced policies to ensure that these workers are adequately protected. The absence of proper employment protections, including paid sick leave, job security, and a reliable safety net, leaves many vulnerable to the effects of economic disruption. As the job market continues to evolve, the government must act swiftly and decisively, prioritizing policies that support workers and ensure that they are equipped for the changing landscape. Without these changes, the UK risks facing a permanent decline in job stability and economic prosperity. Number 8. Technological disruptions in retail. The UK's retail industry is undergoing a significant transformation due to technological disruptions, and millions of jobs are at risk. The rise of e-commerce has shifted the landscape, with more people opting for online shopping instead of visiting physical stores. As a result, brick-and-mortar retailers are closing their doors at an alarming rate, leaving workers in traditional retail jobs facing layoffs and job insecurity. Online giants like Amazon are setting new standards, offering consumers convenience and competitive prices, while traditional retailers struggle to adapt. The growth of e-commerce means that jobs in retail, especially in sales, customer service, and inventory management, are being increasingly automated or outsourced. One of the most notable technological shifts in retail is the widespread adoption of self-checkout systems and automated inventory management. These innovations have allowed companies to reduce their reliance on human workers for tasks like checkout and stock replenishment. As artificial intelligence and machine learning continue to advance, even more tasks, such as customer service and order fulfillment, are expected to be automated, further threatening low-skill retail jobs. While this boosts efficiency for companies, it significantly reduces job opportunities for workers, especially those without specialized skills. The closure of high street stores and the increasing reliance on technology in retail will contribute to an ever-growing unemployment crisis in the sector. Workers who have spent years or even decades in traditional retail roles are now faced with the harsh reality that their jobs are disappearing. Many will find it difficult to transition to new careers, especially if they lack the digital literacy required for modern industry. As retail continues to evolve, the UK must find ways to help these workers transition into new roles, offering training and upskilling programs to prepare them for the jobs of the future. Without such support, the retail sector's transformation could further deepen the job crisis. Number 7. Mental health and the job market. Mental health has become one of the most pressing challenges facing the UK workforce, and its impact on productivity and job stability cannot be overlooked. The increasing prevalence of mental health issues, such as anxiety, depression, and burnout, is taking a significant toll on the economy. More workers are reporting difficulties in managing their mental well-being, with stress from high workloads and the pressure to perform leading to a rise in absenteeism and decreased productivity. According to recent studies, mental health issues cost the UK economy a staggering £45 billion annually, with many businesses struggling to support their employees. The impact of mental health on the workplace is particularly evident in high-pressure sectors like finance, healthcare, and education, where employees are often under extreme stress to meet deadlines or manage heavy caseloads. This constant pressure is leading to burnout, which not only affects workers' health, but also their performance and long-term career prospects. In many cases, employees who suffer from mental health struggles may feel forced to take extended leave, which further contributes to the labour shortage and disrupts the smooth operation of businesses. As more workers face these challenges, the UK job market could become increasingly unstable. Addressing mental health issues in the workplace is crucial to maintaining a healthy, productive workforce. Employers need to create supportive environments where workers can access mental health resources and feel comfortable discussing their struggles. However, the stigma around mental health remains prevalent in many industries, preventing workers from seeking help. As the job crisis looms, it's essential that the UK takes a proactive approach to mental health by providing adequate resources and support for workers. Failure to do so will not only harm individual workers, but could also contribute to a more fragile economy and an unstable job market in the coming years. Number 6. Educational disparities. One of the most significant factors contributing to the UK's growing job crisis is the widening educational divide between highly skilled workers and those with lower levels of education. While there is an increasing demand for highly skilled professionals in fields like engineering, technology, and medicine, many individuals lack access to the necessary education and training to qualify for these roles. As a result, a large portion of the UK workforce remains unprepared for the jobs of the future, which increasingly require advanced skills in STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The gap between graduates and non-graduates is becoming more pronounced. Those with university degrees or specialized qualifications are more likely to secure well-paying, stable jobs, while those without higher education are often limited to low-wage, low-skill roles. Many young people in the UK are being funneled into industries where entry-level jobs are disappearing due to automation or outsourcing. Without access to affordable and accessible skills training and reskilling programs, these workers are left behind, unable to compete for the limited number of available roles. The educational system, while excellent in many areas, does not always equip students with the practical skills required in today's rapidly changing job market. As the demand for digital literacy and technical expertise grows, students without access to cutting-edge educational resources are at a disadvantage. The focus on traditional academic routes, such as university degrees, often overlooks vocational training and apprenticeships, which are critical for filling the skills gap. Addressing these educational disparities by investing in skills development programs and creating more pathways to higher-paying careers for non-graduates is essential. Without this, the UK risks leaving millions of workers unprepared for the future of work, further exacerbating the job crisis. Number 5. Rising cost of living. The rising cost of living is a growing concern for many UK workers, as wages fail to keep up with inflation. Over the past few years, the UK has experienced a sharp increase in housing costs, utilities, transportation, and everyday essentials like food and clothing. While the economy has shown signs of recovery in certain sectors, many households are still struggling to make ends meet due to stagnant wages and skyrocketing living costs. The middle class, once considered the backbone of the UK economy, is now facing increasing financial pressure, and many are finding it harder to maintain their previous standard of living. As inflation rises, the purchasing power of the average worker declines, leading to increased financial stress. For individuals relying on fixed incomes, this can be particularly devastating, as their earnings no longer stretch as far as they once did. The pressure on families is intensifying, especially for those in urban areas where housing costs have risen dramatically. Rent prices and mortgage repayments are at an all-time high, and many individuals find themselves working multiple jobs just to keep up. This economic strain is not just affecting individual families, it's impacting the overall economy by reducing consumer spending, a key driver of growth. The rising cost of living is also contributing to a growing divide between the wealthy and the working class. As more people struggle to stay afloat, there is a widening wealth gap, where the rich continue to accumulate wealth, while the working class faces more economic hardship. This disparity could have serious long-term consequences for social stability and economic growth. For those who are already at risk of losing their jobs to automation or globalization, the rising cost of living only adds to the uncertainty. Without wage growth that aligns with the cost of living, the UK's job crisis could deepen, making it harder for millions of people to secure financial stability. Number 4. Increased global competition. As the world becomes more interconnected, global competition is intensifying, and it's having a significant impact on UK jobs. Companies in the UK are increasingly outsourcing roles to countries with lower labour costs, particularly in industries like tech, customer service, and manufacturing. Countries such as India, the Philippines, and parts of Eastern Europe offer skilled workers at much cheaper wages, prompting UK businesses to relocate operations abroad to stay competitive. This outsourcing trend puts millions of jobs at risk in the UK, as businesses seek to reduce costs and increase profit margins by hiring workers in these regions. The rise of global competition isn't just limited to low-skill jobs. Even high-tech industries, including software development and data analysis, are being impacted by the outsourcing trend. Companies that once hired locally are now turning to overseas talent pools, where workers can be hired at a fraction of the cost. While this benefits companies in terms of cost efficiency, it leads to a job crisis in the UK, particularly for those who have specialized skills in these fields. Skilled professionals, once seen as immune to outsourcing, now find themselves facing the reality of a global job market that is more competitive than ever. In addition to outsourcing, remote work has become increasingly popular, further complicating the situation. As companies embrace remote work policies, they are no longer restricted to hiring employees within the UK. Global talent is now accessible, and businesses are increasingly choosing to hire workers from other countries where the cost of living and wages are low. This trend could leave UK workers with fewer opportunities, particularly as industries shift towards a more globalized workforce. The increasing global competition for jobs, particularly in tech and service sectors, underscores the need for the UK to rethink its approach to workforce development or risk falling behind. Number 3. The rise of gig economy jobs. The gig economy has rapidly expanded in recent years. But while it offers flexibility, it also brings a host of challenges for workers. Many people in the UK are increasingly relying on freelance, contract, or temporary work to make ends meet. This shift away from traditional full-time employment can be seen in industries like rideshare services, food delivery, and freelance writing. However, the gig economy often lacks the job security and benefits that come with standard employment, such as healthcare and pension plans. Workers in the gig economy face a precarious existence, with no guarantees of steady income, sick leave, or job protection. The unpredictable nature of gig work can leave individuals struggling financially, especially when there are economic downturns or fluctuations in demand. Gig workers often find themselves without the necessary support systems that traditional employees enjoy, such as paid time off or unemployment benefits. This can lead to increased financial instability, especially for those who rely on gig work as their primary source of income. Furthermore, without a stable job structure, it's harder for these workers to secure loans, mortgages, or even save for retirement. The absence of long-term stability makes the gig economy a risky choice for many, especially those trying to plan for the future. For the UK economy, the rise of gig jobs could lead to a shrinking middle class, where fewer workers have access to long-term career growth. As more people enter this flexible work system, it can undermine the traditional employment landscape, which was built on secure, long-term roles. Many workers in the gig economy find themselves stuck in a cycle of instability, unable to break free into more stable and higher-paying jobs. As the UK faces a job crisis, the shift toward temporary and freelance roles could further deepen the economic divide, leaving millions vulnerable. Number 2. Brexit and labour shortages. Since the UK's decision to leave the European Union, the country has faced a growing labour shortage, especially in key sectors that relied heavily on workers from other EU countries. Agriculture, healthcare, and hospitality are among the hardest hit. Prior to Brexit, many essential roles in these sectors were filled by EU nationals, who made up a significant portion of the workforce. However, post-Brexit immigration policies and tighter visa restrictions have made it increasingly difficult for workers to enter the UK. As a result, many businesses are struggling to find enough employees to meet demand, leading to a potential economic downturn. The shortage of healthcare workers is one of the most concerning outcomes of this crisis. The NHS, which has always relied on workers from across Europe, is now facing a severe staffing crisis. Doctors, nurses, and care workers are in high demand, yet there simply aren't enough domestic workers to fill the gaps. This shortage has already led to longer waiting times and a strain on the healthcare system, affecting the quality of care. Without a steady influx of skilled workers, the UK will find it even more challenging to meet the healthcare needs of an aging population. Hospitality and agriculture sectors also face increasing pressure. The UK's reliance on seasonal workers for farm labour and kitchen staff for restaurants means that Brexit has exacerbated staffing problems. Many businesses in these industries have been forced to scale back operations or increase wages to attract workers. While this might seem like a short-term solution, the long-term impact on these sectors could be devastating, with many businesses unable to stay afloat without a consistent, reliable workforce. The labour shortage could ultimately hinder the UK's economic growth and job creation in the coming years. Number 1. The impact of automation. The rapid rise of automation and artificial intelligence, AI, is already reshaping industries across the UK, and the effects are becoming harder to ignore. Automation technologies such as robotics, machine learning, and AI-powered systems are replacing human labour in tasks once thought irreplaceable. Manufacturing industries, especially, are increasingly relying on robots for tasks like assembly, quality control, and packaging. This reduces the need for low-skill manual workers, creating a risk of significant job displacement. By 2025, studies suggest that millions of manual labour jobs could be lost to automation in the UK. In addition to manufacturing, sectors like retail and transportation are seeing automation creeping into everyday tasks. Automated checkout systems in supermarkets, as well as the rise of self-driving vehicles, are just the beginning. Companies are investing heavily in AI-driven systems to manage inventory, customer service, and even logistics without human involvement. Retail jobs that were once a staple for entry-level workers are rapidly disappearing as technology continues to evolve. Delivery drivers, often considered a relatively stable profession, could also face major changes as companies move towards automated delivery systems, further increasing unemployment rates. The impact of automation on the UK job market is not just about the number of jobs lost, but the quality of the remaining work. Many workers who lose their jobs to machines will find it difficult to transition into other fields without significant reskilling. The rise of automation brings about a growing divide between high-skill and low-skill jobs, making it harder for unskilled workers to remain competitive. The UK needs to address these shifts by focusing on training and education programs that prepare workers for a more automated future. Without this, the employment crisis could reach unprecedented levels in the next few years. As we've seen, the UK job market is on the brink of a massive transformation, from automation making certain jobs obsolete to Brexit causing critical labour shortages. The landscape is shifting rapidly. Gig economy jobs may offer flexibility, but they come with instability, leaving many workers without long-term security. The rise in global competition is pushing businesses to look beyond borders for cheaper labour, and mental health challenges are making it harder for workers to perform at their best. Technological disruptions in retail and the failure of government policies to address the crisis have only added to the growing tension in the workforce. As millions of UK workers face uncertainty, the key to survival will be adaptability. Reskilling, embracing new technologies, and investing in education will be essential to navigate this turbulent future. Businesses and governments must also step up, offering training and support to ensure workers are equipped to thrive in an ever-evolving landscape. If we don't take action now, the consequences will be devastating for both individuals and the economy as a whole. The job crisis is already upon us, but with the right efforts, it doesn't have to mean the end of job opportunities. It's time to prepare and adapt. The clock is ticking, and your future might just depend on it. What do you think about the future of the UK job market? Do you feel prepared for the changes ahead? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And if you found this video insightful, don't miss our previous one on how to stay ahead in a rapidly changing world. We put a lot of effort into creating these videos to bring you the best content, so please support us by subscribing to our channel. It's just one click, but it makes all the difference.